Gun battles are raging this morning in South Israel as air raid sirens warn of continued strikes on Israel after Hamas launched an unprovoked attack. Right now, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Green, a member of the House Oversight and Homeland Security Committees. You're on the Homeland Security Committee. What is the impact to the homeland, to America, as we watch this horrific story unfolding in Israel this morning?
Get ready for the world's quickest ever recorded pivot to fear-mongering in the history of politics. Wait for it. It's very fast.
This should be a wake-up call to every single American, Maria, if they have not been woken up already. What happened to Israel could happen to America because our country has been invaded by millions of people from over 160 countries. And we've been invaded by people we don't even know where there are. There are so many gotaways, the Biden administration cannot keep up with them, and they're all over the streets, all over the entire country.
We've been invaded by so many people we don't even know where there are. We've been invaded by so many gotaways. I mean, she literally, as a leader in the halls of Congress, does not have a single thing to say about the horrific attacks from Hamas on the Israeli people, the horrible terrorist attacks. She immediately pivots back to her typical divisive talking points where she just wants to keep Americans scared of the boogeyman, of the different people coming in across the border, for better lives and stuff, and fleeing persecution and murder. But that's not important when you're trying to keep people fed with red meat that you use to simply divide and to keep yourself on television, isn't it, Marjorie? You see, she very clearly has no interest in governing in any substantive way whatsoever. She doesn't have any policy positions that she fights for to improve the country, to improve the lives of people struggling, to fix our healthcare system, to fix the fact that the middle class is feeling stretched and squelched, to fix inflation, to fix the fact that people are not getting paid properly at their jobs, that people are striking everywhere around the country. At every issue she was asked about, you'll see it right now. It's a perfect example of how the Republican Party in general does not govern. She just goes to some piece of red meat that's going to divide, some scandal she can try to stir up. Never substance, only flash.
What we're seeing in Israel could happen to the United States of America, and it'd be foolish to ever think that that's not possible.
Has the war on Israel created an expedited situation in terms of getting a speaker in place? Can you walk us through what will take place this week with regard to the Speaker of the House?
Very reasonable question. America is involved in this war in Israel, one of our strongest allies. They're our only true ally in the Middle East. We are supporting them. We're sending a strike carrier to the Mediterranean close to Israel so that we can be there at a moment's notice. I'm sure she's got something substantive to say about this urgent need to have a speaker so that we can have a functioning government to help make sure appropriations are passed appropriately for such a mission. What does she have to say?
Yes, absolutely. We're in a serious weakened position. Republicans that control the majority in the House of Representatives. I want to remind everyone that we barely control the majority of the House, and that's only 1/3 of the federal government.
I want to remind everyone we actually aren't going to get anything done, and we're very weak. We just barely control anything.
What happened last week, I completely disagree with. It was 8 Republicans joining with all the Democrats in the House.
You were not asked about McCarthy being removed and the fact you disagree with it or not. You're asked about finding a new speaker.
And no matter how you feel about Kevin McCarthy, I can tell you I was getting things accomplished.
Okay, you weren't asked about this either, but I'm sure there's going to be a great list of your accomplishments worth listening to, so go ahead.
I was able to get the Ukraine money taken out of the defense bill.
Oh. Taking money away from our vital ally and stopping Russian aggression and making sure that we keep this horrible force in the world in control. You got that taken away. Okay, what else?
I also got an impeachment inquiry launched, which without a vote in the House of Representatives, and that was because I urged him to do it.
Oh. Your other big accomplishment was you got a purposeless, pointless, and evidence-free impeachment inquiry going on Biden because you want to be able to just tell your constituents, I'm trying to impeach the president like they did to our guy, even though our guy is an actual criminal and Biden's not. Okay, what else?
And it was so important to seriously go after the Bidens for all of their criminal and corrupt actions they've taken while Joe Biden has held power.
Yes, it's just Hunter Biden that did some shady stuff, and he's currently on trial for it. So there's no evidence of Biden himself, the President Biden, that President Biden did anything. But Good for you.
So I want change in Washington too. I think it needs to happen, but the only way real change can happen is when we control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. But I'm very concerned about where we stand right now.
Who are you supporting for Speaker?
I'm talking with the people that are running for Speaker. The issues are important to me. I have a bill that would stop transgender surgeries on children.
Oh, another very urgent issue is stopping transgender surgeries on children. That almost never happened. But another wedge issue, so good for you.
And that bill has been sitting in the Judiciary Committee for quite some time now.
Yes, because nobody cares about it.
And I would like to see it marked up and taken to the floor for a vote.
Oh, your other big accomplishment is that you'd like to see something that you created be taken to the floor for a vote. You're really a trailblazer of accomplishments.
So that's an issue I'm pushing. I'm also continuing to push to stop funding the war in Ukraine and push those countries to peace. And now with what's happening in Israel, we're looking at a whole different situation. I want to track the serial numbers of the weapons that Hamas is using against Israel. And I want to know if they came from Afghanistan or if they came from weapons that we provided to Ukraine.
Oh, so you finally just said something about Hamas's attack on Israel, and it was just, I want to find out the serial numbers on the weapons to see if I can blame that on Biden for leaving them behind when we left Afghanistan. Not one even half second of an issue of anything of actual importance to anybody.
So these are answers that I want from whoever's running for Speaker.
You want whoever's running for Speaker to tell you about the serial numbers on the weapons that Hamas has? They're not going to have that answer for you, I can tell you right now, Marjorie. But do you see the point here? Yet again, members of the Republican Party make very clear that they are not in this to govern. And so anybody who's a Republican watching this video, or if you know any Republicans and can get their ear for a second, bend it and say, stop electing idiots who only want to be on TV and keep saying incendiary things and don't actually want to lead. Because the country, if you haven't noticed, has got some issues. And we need people that want to go to Washington to fix it and not just do broadcasts from their car where they say a bunch of garbage. That's my advice. And also maybe when our ally is majorly under attack, have an opinion about it. Maybe make a statement. This was her first interview since the horrific terrorist attacks, and this is what she has to say. The same old, majorly tainted Grinch garbage. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. Please try if you can to have compassion. Use your heart to repudiate and condemn acts of terrorist violence.